Hello, everybody. I'm Will.
And I'm Kristen.
And this is So I'm Watching The Wheel of Time, episode 3.
A place of safety.
So, trying to be objective, trying to be fair and all that. It's losing me.
Yeah.
I'm bored. And I don't understand what we're doing. Like, I mean, so we're trying to get to the White Tower because the Dark One's coming, and then there's a dragon that's not a dragon, and then I'm just kind of in that place where I feel like I was a little preemptive when I was like, it has color, and like...
Yeah, also, I was actually kind of excited for them to be split up right when we found out they were split up, because I was like, ooh, different dynamics. People paired together that might not normally be. It was such a waste of all of them. And so boring.
It was just, I feel like it just kind of made them all duller.
Yeah, everybody was worse. I would say the only exception, and only slightly, was Nynaeve, who got to interact with Lan. But still, Moiraine is useless right now. She's just still passed out or whatever. I don't understand. And even Dana, I guess, was like kind of cool until that blew up in all our faces.
I didn't like it. She was overly familiar in a way.
But she was something. Like, there was like a level of charm happening.
Sure.
Like interest.
I was drifting a lot because I was trying to, like I said, I was trying to be fair. I was trying to be objective. And I was trying to think, who do I like? And I suppose that I actually suppose I like Egwene fine.
Yeah, she's fine.
I'm not interested in Perry's story. I didn't find, and I know that this sounds cruel, but we're watching a fucking fantasy show with trolls, or sorry, Trollocs or whatever. But I'm just like, she was boring. There was nothing there. I mean, I need more than.
What even was her name?
Elaine?
No.
Layla.
Layla. Yeah, okay.
I need more than standing two people next to each other for me to care about them. Yeah. And it was so obviously an accident. And I'm not saying that that a person wouldn't carry guilt, but as an audience member who only barely has invested in this, I can only take so much. And maybe this is where like the books do such a better job of fleshing it out. So if you've read the books
but that
and
didn't
then watch an adaptation, you're able to fill in. Oh, sure.
That thing didn't happen in the book. And also even less than, or even differently than someone who's only barely engaged in this particular telling of this particular story. We've seen this type of thing in so many stories similar to this. And I, as a human person, am sure I would feel tremendous guilt for quite a while if I were to accidentally kill my husband in the heat of battle. But I also wouldn't let it impact my life and my mission going forward. That's the thing
is, I'm not frustrated that he feels guilty or he feels like that he's internalizing it. I'm mad that he's doing it at the expense of the mission, at the expense of like, it's just sort of, we, the audience, are aware of the stakes. We understand very quickly what is happening. And so to then watch the characters sort of fight it out of story obligation, it's not fulfilling. And I think the episode, for me, it suffered greatly by benching Rosamund Pike. And even her, it's like I'm only just there with her.
Well, we've only really had her for one single episode. You know, like the pilot is the only episode that she was like really there for.
Oh, she was all over the second one. I mean, she talked a lot.
Yeah, but she's been like
going
like this the whole time.
I think she was interesting in the second one, but it just sort of like I don't have any. I don't care for Nynaeve. I keep trying to call her Naveen, but
Nynaeve.
Nynaeve. I don't. That old name that I'm so familiar with. Can't throw a brick without meeting a Nynaeve. She's checking too many negative. I think I made this joke in the last one, but we have this thing about like we tend to not like, we call it the female cop with the French braid.
Yeah.
It's like that character that shows up in so many things. She's got that. She's got a chip on her shoulder. I don't love it.
Yeah.
Are we supposed to be getting intrigue, like romantic intrigue between her and Lan.
I hope not. He's like bonded to Moiraine.
Yeah, I don't know. They were giving them scenes together where like I said, I was like, I felt nothing, but I was like, am I supposed to be feeling like intrigue? I don't know.
Not for me.
I didn't like Rand and Matt's thing.
Yeah, I don't really get it either, because now all of a sudden, now that he's separated from Moiraine, Rand is like whole hog into this idea of getting to the White Tower.
Well, I guess I didn't realize that he was being so aloof with Egwene I didn't realize that was strategic, or like he was trying to project that. His wanting to be away from her. I
might have missed a whole thing.
I thought you said that to me in the last episode. I thought you said he was like putting on his like,
oh yeah,
stay away from me.
Yeah, they are in love with each other. They are.
No, yeah, I mean, that's where me as an audience member, being told that isn't enough for me to care about.
No, I know. My point is that, like, he's all of a sudden whole hog into this whole mission now that Moiraine isn't there.
Well, I think
now Matt is
not
the
performing for her. Like, he's not performing for her. Like, he's not trying to be, like...
Performing for Egwene?
Yeah.
Well, Egwene is not what I'm talking about. She's irrelevant to this conversation. All of a sudden, now that he is outside of the realm, like, he's outside of the influence of Moiraine, which he thinks...
Moiraine.
Yeah. Which he thinks is causing him to have all of these... like, to follow her and do all this. Like, he thinks she's doing it to him.
I'm there. I'm
yeah, and so then now he's away from that, and he's like, well, we have to go back. We have to go there. That's where they're going. And now, all of a sudden, Matt, who has been pretty up for this journey the entire time, is like, they're all dead, and I'm going home. And it's like, what? It doesn't make any sense.
I just
narratively, it's not checking
And with
out.
that logic, is there a home to go to? I mean, if we're jumping to those kinds of conclusions, when last you saw it, it was being ransacked by Trollocs. So
plus, they are what is drawing the Trollocs. Clearly, like, now they have proof of that. They're like, can't even debate that. So if they go home, they're just simply going to bring the Trollocs back to their remaining family.
I guess going back to Egwene and Perry, I don't get...
Perrin.
Yeah. I don't get the wolves.
Well, they seem to think the wolves were, like, leading them towards that trail. And
with
then...
the weird... they're, like, gypsy. What did they call them?
They called them something... We understand that it is not a polite term in real society. They are essentially gypsies. They're not like Romani people.
No, I know. Like, I know when speaking about actual humans, it's considered derogatory. Yeah. But for me, I'm like, from a fantasy trope thing, a gypsy, it's like
it's a thing.
Yeah, it's like a type of.
So I don't know what their actual what their tribe was called.
Well, and furthermore, I mean, again, not to lean into the pejorative nature, but I don't trust them.
I mean,
they were a little too...
The lead one is Maria Doyle Kennedy, who has been known to play a trickster in her day. So...
And the other one is Rain, R-A-E-N, Rain, which is too close to Rand, which is too close, I don't know. I don't really have a sense of, other than, of course, I mean, they keep telling us what's happening. I don't feel the sense of it, the urgency or the...
That's the vibe I get from the books, too. And for me, it's kind of hard for a book to be, like, all tell and no show, you know what I mean? Because books are telling you a story. But that's the vibe I get from the book, where it's just, like, lots and lots and lots and lots of words telling me what I'm supposed to be thinking, but not giving me any reason to back up those thoughts and back up those feelings. And so that's, I think, part of the reason why I've had such a hard time.
I think a good part of, like, the storytelling that I like is where I feel like I'm a participant, where it's sort of like I'm getting to connect dots on my own.
Sure.
Where it's like, ooh, where I can, it's the thing we talk about, like, people having chemistry. It's like, I think one of the keys to characters having good chemistry is we, the audience, or because I'm speaking personally, but the audience, needs to understand what each person has that would benefit the other person.
Sure.
But it's like, I want to discover it. I don't want to be told it.
Yeah, like, you don't want for someone to be like, hey, I have peanut butter. And the other person says, well, I have chocolate. And then they're like, well, let's put them together.
I want to see them separately with it. Yeah. And then I want a third person to have jelly. And for me to go,
oh my God.
Which one? They're both viable. Like
100%.
So that's just, like I said, I'm trying very hard because apparently people are loving this. But as an outsider, I'm just sort of like.
I'm very curious. And this is the type of thing that I would love to know in the comments, respectfully. If you are loving this show, I would like to know, first of all, I want to know why. And then I want to know if you have read the book. Mm-hmm. If having read the book, you are enjoying the show, or if you haven't read the book and you're enjoying the show. Because I
could go for some more choices.
Yeah.
Like that woman in the first movie that was like, come at me.
Yeah.
I could go. And I mean, you said Dana was making choices.
Yeah.
But, well, also we see where that got her.
Well, and
what's with
also,
Tom Waits?
Well, his name's Tom Maryland.
Okay.
But he sounds kind of like Tom Waits. He is a gleeman, which is basically like a troubadour, or like Will called him a bard. So in the book, he is in Emmons Field, and they have been on this journey the whole time together.
Well, he had like a bond with Matt. I don't know. It was
it was weird.
They did meet up with those women from the first episode, and I thought those women were interesting. Yeah. We'll see next week if that continues on.
Yeah.
For me, I think I might have been responding to blonde hair and red coat.
Yeah, she also seems a little smug. And if I had to guess, that man in the cage is not the dark one. So, just saying.
I don't know. I think I could, because I also could go with some more humor. I think there were elements of
dull.
It wasn't working for me.
Yeah.
What I think they were considering humor, I wasn't.
Well, okay, that's the thing that I think, and we've said it before about other stuff, is like this show and the sensibilities and the sense of humor are coming off very angry. It's like mean and angry. And I don't think it should be mean and angry. There should be some sort of frivolity to it. These are still essentially like kids. They're like barely 20 years old. Like Egwene just had her 20th birthday. So that's kind of where I'm at, where I'm like, yes, they are in these like dire circumstances. It shouldn't be like a laugh riot, like a joke a minute kind of thing, but it is very dull and dour and like mean and angry. And it's not 100% doing it for me.
So, well, we'll see.
Yeah. We'll be back next week.
We'll see where this goes.
Bye.